SmyleCopodcast. My name is Kevin Hayashi. I'm your host, co-founder of Smyle. We are a platform to encourage and inspire creators to live their dreams and do what makes them smile. We lead by example by raising our frequency and manifesting our reality. Today, would you like to introduce yourself, Natalia?
Hi, my name is NATALIA BADZJO. I'm a director of customer development at WYNN NIGHTLIFE, as well as I own a couple of restaurants here in town. Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. We just had, you had a longer, well, I don't know, who had a longer weekend, me or you? I don't know, it's a tough one. But I just got to visit XS. Natalia gave us such a great table, thank you. That was a good time.
Very welcome.
How was your weekend?
It was pretty eventful. You know, usually Labor Day weekend is one of the busiest weekends of the year in Vegas, and it still was. This weather definitely almost messed it up, but we got lucky and Saturday cleared up and we were able to keep going.
Yeah, so I only showed up Sunday for the night swim and it was clear and it was actually great. So the nights before, was it raining outside?
Well, Friday it was raining a little bit. Friday daytime we definitely got poured on. Saturday, first part of the day was rainy, so messed up a little bit of a daytime pool party, but honestly, people didn't care that it was raining. Everybody just kept on going.
Yeah.
So only in Vegas, right?
So can you tell us a little bit about your position and what you do for the casino?
I'm a director of customer development for WYNN NIGHTLIFE. So basically, my job includes making sure that both venues, all three venues, Encore Beach Club, XS, and WYNN Field Club are sold out, full of great customers and making money. So on a weekly basis, we make sure that our best customers are here, are well taken care of, and spending money. It's kind of my role, as well as helping develop business from other states, other countries, making sure we are reaching out to different markets all around the world, and making sure that we are staying on top with new brands, new DJs, new developments. So we kind of WYNN always has been a step ahead of the competition, so that's kind of part of my job to make sure we stay that way.
Right, and XS, I mean, in my opinion, is probably the best club in the world, top. I mean,
I'm going to have to agree.
But I mean, even like numbers-wise, I can't even imagine many other places doing better numbers than you guys.
Yeah, it definitely helps, you know, having such a strong brand as WYNN behind us. So, you know, we have a better outreach to a great customer base, but also we have a better chance of getting and securing incredible talent, you know.
Yeah.
People like Justin Bieber, Chainsmokers, David Guetta, you know, that it's not on everybody's budget to secure talent like that, which of course brings the biggest customers in return.
Yeah, Diplo was there Sunday.
Yes,
he was fun.
Yes, we definitely have some amazing talent that we can book that helps tremendously.
Right. And I think like the service-scape, the way it's laid out is done really, really well. Just the flow of the...
Just inside and outside element helps, especially in summer months and the warmer months, you know, just basically being able to be indoors but also see outdoors, so be outdoors and see the DJ from both locations. Layout wise, I think we did a really great job with the venue.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you came here and then how you got involved in Las Vegas.
Okay, so I grew up in USSR, communism and all. Of course, you know, when I was a teenager, the USSR kind of collapsed, and basically grew up in Estonia, little tiny country in the Baltic Sea. When I was going to college, I went on a student exchange program, and I went to Chicago first, and I came to Vegas for the last 5 days of my trip just to kind of experience it, and it blew my mind. Like, I was so impressed with everything. I stayed in Bellagio. I saw some of the best shows, but just the whole experience of, you know, a giant resort with 10,000 employees running so smooth and perfect, and it was just really, really incredible. So when I went back home, finished another year of college, and I had my eyesight on. Basically, I kind of decided I'm going back to Vegas the next time I could, and I moved my another semester to over to UNLV, and I moved to Vegas and started working for MGM, and then extended my visa again, and here I am, 20 years later, still here.
So MGM was the first hotel that you worked at?
Pretty much. I think Palms was the first one, but that was very brief. I got a job at Taboo at MGM. Honestly, I didn't speak very much English back then. I knew nothing about alcohol, so I kind of had to learn a lot from scratch. But that was one of the most incredible jobs for sure. Met a lot of amazing people. So MGM was my first kind of like a long-term job, almost fresh off the boat, so to say. I worked at Taboo for a few years, and it was great, incredible money, but I didn't want to get stuck in that position because being the cocktail waitress is great in your 20s and 30s, but it's an easy money that you can get used to, and then it will be too late to switch over later. So
right.
I asked for an opportunity to move up to the management team, which was a huge pay cut. I can't even tell you, but they gave me an opportunity, and I became the operations manager of Studio 54, and kind of grew up from there. Again, that came with a huge pay cut, but I absolutely do not regret making that decision.
Right, it was long term.
Yes, it was a long term, very, very smart decision for me. And after that, I worked for Station Casinos for a little while, and then I've been at WYNN for 14 years now.
And then what took you to the WYNN?
What took me to the WYNN? Well, there was a few things that were happening in Vegas back then. It was a huge, downturn in the economy, and a few places that were supposed to be opening didn't open. So at that time, I went to WYNN and started as a junior host, and I think it was just a position that I kind of wanted to start this journey at. And a few years later, I'm at the director position. So it took a lot of work, definitely a lot of I wouldn't say sleepless nights. We don't really sleep at night, but it definitely took a lot of work and effort to get there. But
yeah, Vegas is such an interesting place. How everybody comes here.
It is, yeah. And honestly, that's why it's in a job like mine. It's not just about money. It's about the amazing people you meet, great connections. You get so many opportunities that you wouldn't get anywhere else in any other position. And to me, I'm the only female in my position in the whole city, probably ever. But I really enjoy the job. I work with all the guys, but.
How long have you been at your position?
Well, I started like I said, as a junior host 14 years ago, and pretty much within the first 3-4 years, I got to the point where I got promoted step by step, and at this position, probably about 6 or 7 years, as a director.
So, what would you recommend to maybe some cocktail waitresses that are out there making good money, and if they wanted to move up, like what would advice with helping them with like maybe a long-term decision, because that's a tough decision.
It is a long-term decision, but just so being in that position, it's like a Peter Pan job. You're gonna grow out of it, so you need to kind of think right away. Make sure you don't waste your money on shoes and purses. You don't need to, you don't need them. Try to save or invest the money so when it's time to make that move, you can afford it, because when you are going to make that change in your career, you will not be making the same money right away. It's going to take a few years to get there. So you don't want to have a huge shock from making 200,000 to making 50,000, because it's going to be a huge shock. So before you make the move, make sure you can afford it, and that's number one. And second, whatever you decide to do, make sure you have passion for it and you're good at it. Like if you were good at math when you were in school, look into something that you could do with finance, whether it's financial advising or insurance or anything else. There's a lot of different opportunities in this town, and don't sleep on that. You meet thousands and thousands of people that are better than you at something, smarter than you, have more access to different opportunities. Keep your contacts. Your connections you're making in this at this job are priceless. So make sure that you don't sleep on that, and
Right.
take any opportunity to talk to people that know more than you or smarter than you, because at the end of the day, knowledge and bettering yourself is always going to be your number one value.
Right. I agree. And
Take courses. I don't know. There's so many. Before, you had to go to university or college to like learn something new or better yourself. Right now, there's so much different information. There's podcasts. There's YouTube. You can literally listen to so many people that do amazing things with their life. That you can learn so much from just basically, instead of watching Netflix at the gym or whatever you're doing, watch a podcast of somebody that you aspire to be as. There is so much information out there that you do not need to go to college specifically to get it.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. And then there's no reason to stop learning. Even if you do go to a trade school or a production school or whatever, like you can go home and, those are the people that really get ahead. It's like, okay, yeah, you're going to go home and play video games, or you're going to go home and watch. It's okay to enjoy yourself, but we have the resources to literally always learn. And I tell myself and my friends, like, I will always take lessons, like 2 lessons of something, whether, at one point it was golf, and then now it's a music production course, and then now maybe piano. But learning is such an important thing. I'm glad that you touched on that. And there's like YouTube and the podcast, you can listen to Grant Cardone talk or Joe Dispenza or all of these great people, or us.
Yes. Not even that, like in our industry, we make great money in a very short period of time, meaning you only work in the weekends. So you have 3, 4, 5 days to yourself, which, yes, take a day or two to relax and enjoy your life. But there is still so much time that I feel like a lot of people are wasting. Video games, one of them. I don't know. I never had a video game console, so I wouldn't.
Unless you're making money on those video games, because there are a few of you guys out there. Congratulations, good for you.
Good for you guys, right?
I got a couple questions I've been wanting to ask you. Who are some of your favorite clients that you work with? And we can edit and delete this in case it's...
Well, it's kind of hard. It's really not a good idea for me to call any names out. But we have so many great clients that are athletes, and we have so many celebrity clients, and some of them are a little snobby, but for majority of them, they're actually very cool, down to earth, and approachable. They're great to chat with you. I have so many great clients that are like billionaires, and they are always if you need advice, call me, I got you. And a lot of times people like that, just like I'm saying, keep in contact with people that you're meeting in this industry, because some of them could be priceless. Whether it's an advice in life that you may need, they'll just using their experience and hearing them what they did to get there will help you tremendously.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing is something that I live by too, is I try to always cut time, right? So like right now I'm learning this music production thing, but I also have a guy who's a master at it, so I'd much rather learn from him. And these successful people can help you get along the way, and it's if they can cut out 3 years of learning with sitting down, having an authentic relationship, that's one of the keys to life. Working in excess and nightlife, if anything pops into mind, what are some of the funniest things that you've seen that have happened at excess?
Oh, funny, also impressive. I can't, like I said, I'm not going to call any names out, but we had a customer that came in and was partying really late. I don't remember who the DJ was, but it was 3:30 a.m. when the club was already winding down. Like, people were kind of walking out over the party, everybody was leaving, but he just wanted to keep the party going. And he's like, what can I do to make everybody stay? So what he did is he purchased a bottle of Patron tequila, I believe, for every single customer that was still there, just for them to stay and party, because he wanted to keep going.
Wow.
So I'm not kidding you. Yes, literally a bottle per person that would stay and party with him, and I think it wiped us out of supply for that specific brand for a little while, but the party kept going till I think 6 a.m. that day.
Wow, so, what a move!
That's definitely a move. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many bottles would that have been, guess? Like,
well, at that late there wasn't a lot of people left at the club, and I believe it was several cases for sure. I think maybe about 300 or 400 people left at that time, but they all stayed. So I guess
Was everyone
he
just
did the
walking around
trick.
with a bottle?
Well, people had tables, some people were on dance floor, so everybody who wanted a whole bottle got a whole bottle. Some people just got one per two because wouldn't drink the whole thing. So, but it was definitely a night to remember. So.
What a move! So XS, in my experience, has been around. Do you know?
14 years, yeah.
14 years, and it's crazy to me the success because nightclubs come and go, and they come and go, and like.
Yeah, I think it's the longest standing nightclub that's still in its prime till this day, and I think. Just us constantly refreshing. There's not much we can do interior-wise because, the bones are already there. But we always adding new technology. We always, refreshing the furniture, of course. We've redone, before 5, 10, 15 years ago when you came to a nightclub, the DJ was never at the center of the attention. The DJ was always somewhere in the back in the booth.
Right.
You didn't know his name or knew what he looked like. And that changed drastically since, we started booking a big name DJs. Like, I think the very first one was like Tiesto, somebody that we came to Vegas, which we didn't pay nearly as much as we do now. But when the DJs became the center of attention, every club had to kind of pivot and put the DJ booth where people could see them, because now he's the center of the attention, he or she. But that made, at Excess, the DJ booth was right behind the stairs where you honestly cannot see them. It was completely hidden, and the club was all about the dance floor. And then I think 7 or 8 years ago, when we put the tiny little booth right at the end of the dance floor, then the booth grew. The booth got bigger and got fancier. Then the screens got added, and the pyro got added.
Yeah.
But I think what keeps it relevant, of course, is us keeping up with the times and booking the best talent we can, and bringing the best customers, and that kind of keeps the club relevant.
Yeah, it was. How long have you guys had that layout that you guys are doing now for the night swim?
For the night swim, this year is the first time we're doing this layout. With the before night swim, I think started 9 years ago, and it was mostly all about the pool. Meaning people were encouraged. Everybody wanted to be in the pool. The pool was a dance floor. There was no platform over it like you saw last night. But then, that was the first night swim. We kind of started off with it, and it took a couple of seasons to get it going. But then kind of we added, every other nightclub kind of followed suit. Everybody kind of did their own version of night swim, to the point that night swim, actually swimming at night, is not such a big thing anymore.
Yeah.
People still want to go, but not to get in the pool. They want to go because it's an outside party.
Yeah.
They can dress down a little bit and just be outside, because outside is basically becomes the center of attention versus the indoors like it is normally. So we, again, it's a quick pivot from on our side. Okay, people not going in the pool anymore. Let's fix it, make sure it's still great. So we literally put a platform over the whole center of the pool. You can still swim just on the sides, because we figured from 2,000 people swimming 3 years ago, now we have 200 people swimming. So obviously swimming is not a big deal anymore. So now we're wasting the entire center of the venue. So let's pivot and monetize on that. So we built a platform over it, put 20 tables on it, and the night swim became a whole different party. So again, that was a quick fix to something that we saw was changing.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, that was my first time. I'm usually in Vegas all the time, but the past I've been so busy with Smile that I haven't been able to come out. But I was very impressed. And the experience we had, the table in the dance floor, you know, everyone was around us. It was a really good experience. Everyone loved it. And in between the back bar, being able to reach that, and then you guys added the pyro.
Yeah, and there's more pyro coming. You saw the little construction on top.
Yeah.
It's going to be even cooler.
Yeah. And then just an experience, because I had one friend that had never been to that, and you know, everything was filled. The cabanas up top, people overlooking, people down. It's quite an experience. If you haven't been, strongly recommend it. I don't know many places in the world that have that experience.
Yeah, the outside party's definitely kind of taken its hold.
So tell me a little bit about your other venture with the restaurants and what you have going on there.
Like I said, you know, when you're in the nightlife, you always kind of have to look for an avenue out, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be employed for the rest of your life. So me and my husband opened the restaurant. First one we opened almost 8 years ago, 7.5 years ago now. He's from Texas, and he loves to barbecue. None of us had any cooking experience. or restaurant experience. He just loves to cook, and I'm a business person. So number one important thing, if you're opening or running a business with your significant other, it's always going to be conflict. The only way it works so well for us is we have a very clear separation of powers. There is an area that he's an expert at. There's areas that I'm an expert at. We can suggest to each other what to do in our area of expertise, but the end decision in his area will be his, and decision in my area will be mine. And I can guarantee you that's the only way you can do it, and it works really well for us. We've been together for like 19 years now, and still works. Everything that has to do with cooking, kitchen, recipes, and anything has to do with that's his expertise. I will not stick my nose and tell him how to do his job. Everything has to do with actual business, finances, marketing, and the actual business side of it, that's my expertise. So he will not tell me what to do on that side. Again, we will suggest to each other, hey, I think you should try this, but at the end of the day, my decision will be in my area and his decision in his area.
You can borrow my hat, but don't wear it.
Correct, and it works really well. I can't tell you enough. That's the only way that it will ever work and not lead to huge arguments. So basically, he was in nightlife too for many years, and he was kind of over it. So we were always jokingly saying, hey, one day we're going to open a restaurant, just because he always loved to cook. Like, we've been together for 18 years, and I may probably cooked 4 times. Not because I don't know how to, just because he enjoys it and I don't. Yeah. So,
yeah,
great.
Makes sense.
It's a great setup. So,
how did you name the restaurant?
Big B's Texas Barbecue. His name is Brian, and he's 6'7", so he's big. So that's why it's Big B's. And Texas, because it's Texas style barbecue, which makes it different from kind of people that know what Texas style barbecue means will understand. It means there's no sauce on the meats; it's just dry rub and smoke. And we actually bring our wood from Texas. We bring it mesquite from Texas a few times a year, so that's what we cook with. But we kind of started. Again, none of us had any experience opening or running a restaurant. So I did a very thorough business plan. Like, I'm very, very cautious when it comes to spending that kind of money. And, we didn't take any investors. It was half our own savings and half SBA loan, which SBA loan is a great loan, but they are very, very careful giving it to the restaurants because success rate of those is very low.
Right, yeah.
So they were extremely impressed with my business plan. And, of course, I got the loan. And I'm happy to say I paid it back in 1 year. And my numbers were almost to a T, specifically what I projected. So it took a lot of research. Like, literally, we went to several restaurants. We sat there for hours, just counting how many people came in, what they ordered, how much they spent, just so we know exactly. Like, going backwards when you're opening business it's very important to actually, if you can do a business plan yourself, have somebody help you. I had somebody help me as well, and just to know, instead of just jumping, hey, it's going to make money, understand how much you need to make per year, per month, per week, and per day to break even, to make money, to lose money. That way you can right away know, okay, my first week I need to get way ahead, or I'm doing great. And I think knowing those numbers ahead of time will save you a lot of headache. So I know everything may sound great in your mind. You need to make sure you put it down on paper and do your math before you jump into it head in.
Right.
Of course you can, and sometimes it works out, sometimes not. I'm not a person that takes a lot of crazy chances. I will actually measure twice before cutting once.
Right.
So for me, that was an important thing. I'm a math person, I think in numbers. So hence why I'm the CFO of the business. But it worked great, and I think we opened the first store 7 years ago, like I said. Second one opened 4 years ago, and I think we're gonna do a third one this upcoming year.
And where in Las Vegas exactly are they?
The first one is in Henderson, it's on Eastern in St. Rose. Second one is in Summerlin, or like Southwest, Fort Apache and Sunset. And then the third one will probably be somewhere in Centennial area, just so they kind of spread out, and we'll go from there.
I know that shout out Jay Hall, he had friends over yesterday, and he ordered a whole bunch.
He did, yes.
Yeah, it was might go ahead to him after this and get some leftovers. Question for nightlife. Do you see any major changes happening? Because like when the DJs came, that was such a big thing, right? Like, and then there was the decision. I mean, it's kind of funny. I think XS is one of the groups that innovate, and then people follow, like the Night Swim and stuff like that. I mean, I'm, you know, for what you can share ideas. Do you see nightlife changing? Do you think it being heavily DJ based for such a long time, or?
It is, but people come out for the DJs. The big problem I see right now is just whenever a new player comes to the market, like we had Chaos come, and they were trying to take over some of the DJs, and the amounts they offered them were so astronomical that of course they will go for the money. You know, it would make sense to them to
for
do
the
so.
DJ, right?
But when you run the numbers, it makes it impossible to make that money back with paying them that much. So WYNN is very strategic with who we book. Of course, it has to be a great artist that will draw the crowd, but you also have to do your math again to make sure that you can make that money back. You know, the number of tables, the number of capacity of your venue, and if it doesn't make sense mathematically, sometimes we still do it just because it's like
Marketing, maybe.
Marketing is just a very, you know, because we can move. You know, like we it's a great marketing when you book a DJ like Drake, because nobody else can.
Right.
You know, it's somebody that sells out stadiums, and we had him at XS, which was a huge, I won't say F word, but you know, move. You know, it was definitely a very big power move. I think I see more transition into actual performances rather than just DJs. But again, it has to make mathematical sense. You know, you can't, if you pay somebody so much money that you can't potentially make that back. At least at the end of the day, if you don't have endless budget, you know, the bubble's gonna burst. So what I see every time the new player comes in, that they either try to look for the artists that are new and upcoming, which there's of course a lot of them. There are, you know, there's some new guys that just came on the market that are super hot, and nobody has them locked up yet. So the new venues are obviously gonna go after that, but WYNN is always going to be a huge player in that game anyway, you know, because we have a huge property behind us that can support, even if the nightclub doesn't make that money back, the money that the property will see, the influx of money that the property will see altogether will make up for the difference. That's why, you know, I think we have kind of a bit of a better chance of getting those artists. Not just that, just something that we offer them on top of just the money. You know, they are staying in the best hotel, they have access to amazing restaurants, we can send WindJet to pick them up. There's a lot of other perks that we can throw in that other venues can't. So I think that helps a lot with getting the right artist.
You know what I like? I know a lot of my friends do too, when it comes to the performance side, and I think it's affordable. Say you have someone like Drake, and you have, you know, or a lot of DJs have their performance, you can just add a saxophone player that just comes out, right? And you can easily do the sound and stuff, and that saxophone player is peanuts compared to right. And but that's when everyone brings their phone out, because there's a live piano or a live violin or something like that, and they can play for like 45 seconds just a solo, you know.
And we've done a couple of times at ABC at night, and I think it worked really, really good. So I think that's another thing that I wouldn't see it's a trend yet, but it's something that we've done. We never really had a lot of big hip hop artists because you know, it was kind of not the music style we were going after. But now there's so many crossover between, like there's countries became super relevant. You know, we've never thought about having a country artist, but now country is like top 3 spots on the list. So you're looking, you know, Tyga is our first. Well, we had Lil Jon before, so I'm wrong there. But like right now, Tyga is doing really well with us. You know, it's our first hip hop artist in a while that we put on the roster permanently, and he's been a great draw. And he's actually performs. He doesn't just DJ. You know, a lot of guys, they just, you know, stand behind their thing and push the buttons. Tyga performs, and you know, to me, that's a great thing that we don't have a lot of. You know, we had Chainsmokers that do their songs and then they mix in with DJing, but I think he's been a great contract for us the last year. Hoping to see a few more of those artists in upcoming years. Drake was always great, of course, but he's kind of, you know, once in a while big artist. We can't. He's
Pretty expensive.
Yeah, can't run him every weekend.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So it gets pricey, but that was like a very very specific power move when I think Zook opened, not Zook, but Chaos opened.
Oh yeah.
It was like, wow.
So I like asking everyone if kind of what you do in your own time, or if you viewed yourself being in the position you are, and if you meditate or manifest or believe in any of that stuff, or did you ever have beliefs that you would be where you're at right now?
Honestly, no. The only thing I believe is work and dedication gets you there. You know, I don't like manifest or meditate. I'm a natural born workaholic. I wake up and I go to work. To me, it's like everybody has their vices. For some it's alcohol, for some it's drugs, for some it's gym. For me, it's work. I literally feel like if I don't have enough to do, I don't know what to do with myself. Even if I'm on vacation, you will never see me without my both phones. And I don't know, it's maybe at some point I'll be able to relax, but I feel like I always feel antsy to do more. And I do my best work when I'm slightly overwhelmed. Like if I have too much to do, I will get 90% of it done. If I don't have enough to do, I will get nothing done. So it's like I'd rather put too much on my plate, and I know 9 out of 10 of those things will get done, and I'll be running around, you know, huffing and puffing, but I'll get it done. But if there's a day that's like, oh, I only have like 2 things to do, I probably won't do either one of them. So it's, yeah, I don't know why it works that way, but I feel like the more I put on my plate, the more I accomplish. So, manifesting, I don't know. I don't feel like
I think it's once you're in that fight or flight mode, then you're just going.
You're just going, yes. You're just going. It's like, shit, I need to get this done and this done and this done. And once you start knocking those things out one by one, you're kind of getting another wind. It's like,
getting your
okay,
dopamine
let's
fix.
get more, and let's get more done. And I don't know. I think it's the minute you relax, oh, I can take it easy today. You just never, you know. I think body in motion stays in motion. Sort of applies here.
Is today your day off?
What's today?
Or do you have a day off? Is that possible?
Not really. I mean, usually Wednesdays when I like sleep in, but complete day off, not really, because when I'm not working at the WYNN, I always have something to do for the restaurants. You know, Tuesday I usually do my payrolls, make sure the upcoming order for the weekends are done and everything like that. But I guess sort of half a day off, yeah.
And then in your days off, do you have anything you like to do, or just like relaxing and just keeping it?
I always like to take trips, even they're short trips out of town. You know, just kind of getting out of Vegas, getting even if it's San Diego, Texas, love Florida, anywhere. Even if it's just a day and a half, 2-day trip. I work out once a day.
You should come to San Diego and then bring your husband. My business partner Brendan, that owns the Social Syndicate, so he has 11, 12 restaurants, and he's a great person to talk to. He could take you to our spots, maybe give you some ideas for maybe a possible. Would
love to, yeah. Because San Diego is one of the places that I want to at least have a place at. I'm kind of looking actually, because he loves fishing, and we take our fishing boat to San Diego or Dana Point all the time, just tuna fishing. So just go out there for a few days. So yeah,
it's the best city in the world.
Honestly, weather-wise, yes, I agree. It just can't get better than that. It's warm enough that, I like Vegas too. Vegas is close from everything, no natural disasters. I like most about it. It's like everything's close enough. If you're on the ocean, 40-minute fly away, here's the ocean. If you're on mountains, 40-minute drive up Mount Charleston, you got mountains. 0 natural disasters. No tornadoes, no hurricanes, no mudslides, no fires, none of that shit. You don't have to worry about your house being picked up and dropped off 20 miles in the ocean. I love Florida, but living there on the edge of my seats, if this hurricane is going to destroy my life or not, it's just so stressful. That's why I like Vegas. Everything's close enough and you don't have to worry about that stuff. You don't have to own anything more warm than a hoodie, and maybe that's about it. That's all I need for my winter. I can wear flip-flops almost year-round.
After I saw you at XS, I had a dream. I had an earthquake dream.
Wow.
Yeah, I just remembered that. I was like, whoa.
Just remember, never gonna happen here.
So, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because you seem very methodical. I feel like there's a plan in there.
Yeah. There's always a plan. Again, the plan is like I don't think I'll ever be able to stop working just because I actually enjoy it. Like, I could technically leave whenever. The restaurant's making great money, but I don't want to. I really enjoy it. I enjoy my job. I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy seeing amazing artists, and that job kind of gives me a high. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoy going. I enjoy doing it. 5 years. Honestly, I wanna be working because I want to work, not because I have to. That's kind of the end goal, and hopefully having one or two more restaurants. But again, like I told you before we started, I want to diversify a little bit. I'm
Mhm.
working on another kind of business that's not food and beverage involved. So hopefully I'll get that going as well. Just kind of having multiple streams of income is always a
It's
plus.
always, yeah,
So
definitely.
restaurant business is great, but it's very very hands-on. Like, the minute you are not there, at least sometime things start slipping, and you kind of have to be present. I'm not saying it's tough, but it's like it's very very involved. It's hard to leave town. Like, I can't. We can't both leave for more than a week. Maybe if I want to go to Thailand for a month, I can't. Like, one of us can. My husband's going hunting for 3 weeks, means I'm staying in town. If I'm going somewhere, he's staying in town. So I want to kind of diversify and maybe to some sort of business that's not 100% involved. Like, don't have to be there 24/7.
What about cloning? You could clone yourself.
Yeah,
Figure
that'd
that
be
out.
great. Yeah,
I
yeah.
need two of me. That'd be great.
Another thing is just like the business is just not having partners is a plus and a minus. First of all, nobody tells me what to do because at the end of the day, I'm my own boss. At the same time, every problem is my problem.
Mm.
There's no like, hey, he's gonna take care of it. Can you take care of that? Every problem is my problem.
Right.
At the end of the day, I can only be responsible for it. If I make money, it's my good job. If I don't make money, that means I have to do better. So I'm the only person that's responsible, but I'm also the only person that reaps the benefits. So, like I said, it's a plus and a minus. Maybe investing in some business that kind of has a little bit less of hands-on involvement that it is now, so it'd be easier to take a vacation. But yeah, that's, I guess, in 5 years, hopefully we'll still own my restaurants, but we'll kind of have a little bit of more diversified portfolio, so to say.
Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share or plug for your restaurants or access or anything coming up?
Well, we have Formula One coming up, so if you guys are planning to be in town, please do not wait till last moment. It's going to be absolutely impossible to get anything. If you are looking to book something for Super Bowl next year, do not wait till the week off. It's going to be impossible to get something. Get in touch with me now. The sooner the better. There's still a lot of options available, but again, the closer we get to it, the harder it will be to do either Formula One or Super Bowl. If you come into Vegas for any other reason, I'm always at the WYNN, always happy to help you with anything you need, or at the Field Club for football games. Those are incredible. Another amazing thing that WYNN did is the partnership with the Raiders
I didn't
Stadium.
know about that. Do you want to talk
WYNN
about that
Field
real quick?
Club? Yeah. So we have an amazing club at the end zone at the Allegiant Stadium for Raiders, and I don't care about football at all. Like, I don't even know who plays most of the time, but I go there for every single game. The amount of energy in watching the game, you can literally high-five the players. That's how cool it is.
Wow.
You're in end zone, they are running right out on their field next to you. You literally can touch them while they're catching their balls. It's incredible. So if you ever want the best experience of watching the game, that's the place to be. And instead of being confined to a seat, you have a table so you can walk around, order drinks, order food, kind of walk around the venue, go to the bathroom without leaving the actual end zone. It's definitely the most amazing experience if you are looking to watch a sporting event or a concert, but it was built specifically for sporting events, and it's definitely somewhere you want to be for the game.
And
It's not cheap. It's not cheap to be there, but it's definitely worth it.
How long will you be doing the night swim?
Night swim, I think the last night swim will be the end of October, so about another month.
Okay.
So night swim is on Sundays. In the winter, still going to be open on Sundays, but we just move the party inside,
Right.
just because it gets colder. Night Swim is our event that's outside at Excess, and it's outdoors party, and it's definitely worth checking it out.
Yeah, I definitely recommend going to the Field Pass or the
Field Club,
the Field Club, and then going to the Excess party after. Well, thank you, Natalia. It was a pleasure.
You are very welcome.
I will. I'm sure I'll be back soon. Might have to hit that Field Pass and then come back to the indoor club.
Yeah.
But thank you guys very much. Don't forget to smile. Her links, contact info will be in below for the channel. Thank you. Subscribe.
Energy.